you most proud about of the Jets in your first few years being here?
Probably most proud that, at least for me, I came into an organization that was doing a lot of good things, and there's a tendency for leaders of organizations to want to come in and change everything. And I would say I took a patient but focused approach, which was let's identify what's working and kind of leave those alone, nurture them, let them go, and let's identify new things that we should be doing differently. To me, it was how do you come into an organization that's doing good things and add to it, make changes without you being a distraction or taking people out of the rhythm of the good things that they're doing. I think good leaders and good managers, I think it starts with understanding the challenge that you're confronting, the business opportunity that you need to seize, setting that strategy, communicating it, and then more importantly, it's being empathetic to the needs of the people that you're working with to make sure that they understand what the goals are, and then giving them the tools and the resources, and most importantly, your empathy to help them achieve those goals. So leadership is doing some great things on your own, but it really is setting an example in terms of what the organization is striving to do, and then it's trusting your people and letting them do great things.
We all have very different roles, and there's a million other kind of things going on at once. So the ability to communicate with other people and have everybody understand their role and kind of the end goal, I think, is a huge part.
When you're asking people to put in long hours and you're asking people to be, put their best foot forward for the organization, whether that's the content that they're putting on the website or the TV shows or on our social media, really wanting them to feel great about what they're doing and feel great about working for the organization. Our job is to inspire everyone every day to really put our best foot forward as a team.
I think good leaders are proactive. It goes from in a classroom today, a lot of people do exactly what the teacher asked them to do. The leaders are, hey, what else can I do? I was reading something, and this is pretty interesting. There's a business opportunity involving the Jets. Leaders are coming up with ideas or opportunities and are thinking about the business, at least it relates to the New York Jets, all the time. They're not just on the receiving end of, hey, can you do X, Y, Z? Can you make sure that this gets done? Leaders, it's incumbent upon them to think about the next step, sometimes to look around corners, but more importantly to anticipate. And I think that's really what defines leadership. And I'm sure you see that for people who are the natural leaders that you go to school with. They're the ones who are anticipating the next step. They're working a little bit harder, and so they're leading by example by doing that.
Can you name a person or a mentor who has had a major impact on you as a leader?
Al Lerner. He ran MBNA, a credit card company. He was a very successful investor, and he ended up buying the Cleveland Browns. And it turned out he was in the Marines in World War II, and when you have some of those experiences, I don't think any of us had those experiences, certainly not in World War II. Things are important, but they're not life or death, so just roll up your sleeves and get them done, and have confidence in yourself, and you'll get it done. That was one mentor for me. Paul Tagliabue was another mentor for me, just the cerebral approach that he took to problem solving. And Woody Johnson's just been terrific about his ability to ask the right questions, but to not want to micromanage. And I think that's important for leaders. Are you thinking about the right things, but ultimately you have to go execute it. And I think that those are important lessons for leaders.
You talked about some of the skills that you had that helped lead to your job today. What would those skills be?
I think it is. I think financial and business skills are important. I think it's management skills. I think it's analytically how do you solve business problems. It is communication skills. It's important to get A's and do well and know things, but you will find a lot of A students don't succeed to the extent that they wanted to. A lot of it is they just don't know how to be effective in dealing with people. It's that intangible that allows them to be more effective than others. Some of it's just drive, some of it is just passion, some of it's just being persuasive and being able to communicate that with others.
And some of it is just perseverance, not taking no. I mean, if you have a goal or a project or whatever the case may be of something that you want to accomplish, you just have to set your mind to it, and when the roadblocks come up, you go through them. I mean, I tell people at times, there are instances when you're trying to do something and you knock on the door of what you're trying to do once, you knock on it twice. If at that point it's not opening, you kick it down and you go do it. I mean, that's sometimes the reality of the way you need to approach it.
And what advice would you give to somebody that may not have a plan or may not know what they want to do in the future generally?
I've had a lot of conversations with people coming right out of college about their first job. Like, it's important because it's a decision that you're going through, and you should take it seriously, and you should apply yourself in the right way. But they're not irreversible, and there's a lot of good decisions. So there's a lot of good colleges that, whatever college you go to, just make the most of it. If you don't get into a particular college because you think it's the most important thing in the world, it may just be meant to be. And I think that's true with a lot of choices you're going to make in life. Don't always be looking for the best of everything. Be happy with what you achieve, and I think that's just a better model. There is no best. There is no best college. There are a lot of good colleges. There is no perfect job. There's a lot of good jobs. And I'm not saying to be complacent, but I am saying to be satisfied and don't put undue pressure on yourself, particularly as it relates to college and first jobs. They're important, but I'm telling you, 20 years from now, it's not going to be that important. You will, if you're destined for success, you will be successful. If you don't get into this college or that college, and you're still destined for success, you still work hard, you will be successful.